Hello and welcome to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today we're in my sewing corner, but we are not doing any sewing. I am heading out to the annual Snohomish Clothing Textile Advisors sale, which I took you guys kind of along with me last year. This year is going to be a little different. I'm trying to buy a lot more intentionally on this one and come away with a lot less material. One of my main goals is I'm looking for kind of a specific color of denim, so we'll see how that goes. As usual, I'll look for rayons. And lastly, I'll probably look at the wool, and then aside from that, they usually have quite a lot of notions, so I'm going to be looking for some overall buckles, as well as sometimes they have some fun little western jean buttons. I'm trying to remember what those are called, and things like that. So I'm mostly, I think, going to try to stick to the notion section and just be really intentional with the fabric that I'm bringing back. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So the way this sale works, I'm up. It is 7:30 a.m. right now. I have to drive about a half hour to get to the sale, and it opens at 9 for early bird ticket holders, which I purchased an early bird ticket to be able to go in before it gets too crowded and I get really overwhelmed. My goal is to kind of be in and out of the sale before they let in the main crew of people. But we'll see. Everything always takes longer than you think it will. I forgot to mention what this sale raises money for, so enjoy this footage of Spooky being wild. This sale, so the early bird admission I pay in and everything you buy goes to support their local college scholarship program and their summer camps that teach young people how to sew and just help support community sewing programs. So it is going to a good cause. You know, teaching people how to sew is really important. Also, this event is incredibly well run and incredibly organized, and I just think it's really impressive. So I want to make sure to give kudos to the Snohomish CTA for putting this on every year. Once I wrap up finding what I'm trying to buy, I will then hopefully take some B-roll and show you guys a little bit more of what the sale itself looks like. But yeah, here's hoping to not getting too many things and finding the denim I need. All right, I've arrived at the sale and I'm headed to early admission. There's always already people camped up at general admission, but this is the early admission line. It's a decent line, but not anything too crazy. And then once I'm in, we're looking at piles and piles and piles of fabric. They have everything kind of sorted out. Miscellaneous fabric is where oftentimes I find my favorite fabrics. This is where you'll find rayons, silks, weird tapestry stuff, upholstery stuff that might look good for corsets. That's the table you'll find all that good stuff at. And then of course I do always check out the wool. They always have a massive different amount of different types of wool, so I always make sure to check it out. I was very disciplined and I even put some wool back this year. And then the special occasion fabric is always kind of fun. I never really get anything here though because it's all usually a sensory nightmare. And I'm just trying to give you good perspective of how big this sale and how much fabric there is before everybody else comes in. This is what it looks like once they let in general admission, and why I have to do the early bird access is by the time it gets like this, I get really overwhelmed and have to get out of there. All right, I have just wrapped that up. I tried to get a little bit of footage on the inside for you guys, but it's always challenging. A few, I guess, parting notes. I'm always very hot and sweaty after that. Digging through that fabric is a lot of work. Remember to bring a bag or something. So they let you go in and out and you can take as many loads to the car as you want, which I don't do because my rule is if I can't carry it out, I don't need it. Other than this year, a nice young man helped me. Wow, I sound like I'm 80. But a nice young man, he was, a teenager, helped me carry my bag to the car, and I very much appreciated that because I'm definitely on kind of a lower spoon situation right now. But yeah, it was really great as always. A lot of really friendly people. Got to talk about fabrics, met some people. But now I'm gonna go actually take my serger into the shop and go get a really fun iced coffee and then head home. I'm pretty exhausted, but I am gonna try to film the haul today too. So I will catch you in just a little. I did not get a coffee. I got a fun little drink like this. It's really cute. It's from Grounds Coffee. They're on Aurora Ave. I highly recommend. They have a lot of fun drinks. All right, we're back at my place. I have my haul here. I forgot to mention in my car check-in, so I got 30 pounds of fabric and at $2 a pound, so I paid $60 for all of this, which of course is a screaming good deal. So I'm gonna go through these two piles of fabric, tell you what I picked up, why I picked it up, and all that good stuff. I did end up mainly sticking to fabrics, primarily just because going into their fasteners were underwhelming this year. In general, their notions, I don't know if I was just overwhelmed or don't need notions or whatever, but nothing really called to me in that section, even though I took a little time to browse in there. And then I just in general don't look for patterns and stuff there, because patterns are something that for me take like a hyper focus to like dig through, and at a like sale like that, I'm too overwhelmed to be able to do that. So this time I just came in with fabric, which I think is just perfect. Admittedly, I don't need to come away with any fabric, but here we are. So I'm gonna go through this pile, then this pile. And this pile is kind of my more practical pile. So the first fabric I have here is, it's this really interesting brown corduroy that kind of has like a bunch of different colors in it. I've seen a lot of things that look like this, and I'm really, really partial to things that look like this, so I'm pretty excited about this. My plan is to attempt either pants if I have enough yardage, which I suspect I might not, and if not pants, I'll definitely be doing shorts or perhaps a skirt. We'll just kind of see what the yardage ends up being on this. Also in the corduroy category, this one is really fun actually, because I talked to a woman at the sale who, she's actually the one who donated this, and she said she used it to make like basically a little overall set for her daughter when her daughter was 6. And it's just so funny because talking to her, I was like, that's exactly what I saw this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would make the cutest little overall set. So I'm essentially making what she made for her daughter that was when she was 6 years old, who is now 42 years old. But I'm making it for my adult self because I just think this is darling, and I think it will work with just like a lot of different things. I'm debating if I have enough fabric, we might be doing like a pants, a skirt, bib set, because it feels like there's a lot of fabric in here. So I think I can get a really cute, really versatile set with this. I was pretty good. I did not let myself pick up any other plaid wools except for this purple one. I thought this purple was absolutely gorgeous, and it's a pretty nice lightweight. I'll be making a skirt with this. Plaids like this I don't enjoy making into dresses because there's just way too much pattern matching, but I think it'll make a phenomenal and really cute skirt. And then the last thing in this pile is a type of wool fabric I've been looking for a while. So this is actually, it still has its tags on it, and it is actually 78% wool and 28, that doesn't add up mathematically. Handwriting's a little rough, but I think it's 7% wool, 2% Dacron. I don't know, it's a poly wool mix. It is pretty itchy, but for a coat, I'm gonna line it, and this is like kind of that mottled, speckled fabric I've been looking for everywhere online and not been able to find like a nice gray or black that has the like colorful speckles in it. And while I would love these to be like a little bit more pastel or fun speckles, this is kind of what's around in this colorway. Maybe one day I'll magically come across a fabric that's more vibrant than this, but for now, this will work perfectly. I'm just gonna make another one of those princess coats from Gertie out of this fabric, and I have this chunk of yardage and this chunk of yardage. It came in 2 pieces, but that should work out just fine. I think the first time I made that coat, I made it with 2 big pieces of wool, so I think that should be fine. But those are kind of more my like practical fabrics. These here are all my like kind of fun goofy fabrics. For the first fabric, we have this really fun, it's these cows with little hearts and bows and things on it. I just thought it was really funny and really cute. I'll likely just make like a turtleneck or t-shirt or something like this. I just brought my serger in finally to get that serviced, and once that's done and serviced, I'll probably whip out these knits really, really fast. The first 3 that I'm going to show you will be knits. I also got this one, which I have the same thing that I want to do with it. I just want to make it really cute, and maybe a turtleneck, maybe a mock neck, we'll see. I need to kind of make a round of pattern lookouts for knits, because especially for this last one, let me unfold this fabric. It's really hard to visually see how fun this fabric is, but it's this really great abstract fruit print. That's a knit. I don't know yet what I'm gonna make with this one, because a t-shirt obviously wouldn't show off like how fantastic this knit is. I'm gonna get the yardage of this, and then I will do a knit pattern hunt to look for what I'm looking for. This has like mild stretch, not anything crazy, and I think it's just 1-way or like 2-way stretch instead of 4-way stretch, which is fine by me. But yeah, I think this one is so cute. Like there's grapes, there's watermelon. I've definitely seen this print online before and been very tempted, but now I have it. And then I picked up some rayons. This is my first one. It is just this really nice pink and like teal rosy print. Yeah, I think it'll be really cute. I don't know yet what I'm making with it. And then I also picked up this this really, really, really bright tropical print. I'll definitely be making like a cute little two-piece set out of this. I have some 1940s patterns that I think would work well to make a set like that with. And then I also have this one here, which is like this really fun postcard print. It's super campy. It has like a very strangely drawn woman in a bikini on it, and it's really, really fun. So I will probably make like a really flowy tropical dress. I have a pattern in mind for this one, so I'm pretty excited. I did in general, where I feel like I went wrong with this sale last year and I bought too much that I couldn't figure out how to use, is I didn't like picture what I would make with it in my mind. And as a result, I just kind of ended up with a bunch of things that I actually had to declutter at the end of the day because I couldn't figure out a good use. So I tried to be really intentional with what I brought into my stash from the sale this go round, and I think I did pretty well. This guy here is just a really beautiful, there's 2.5 yards of it. It's a silk. It's absolutely stunning. This is the only silk I picked up this year, but it is a spectacular one. And with 2.5 yards, I'll probably make like a really big blouse that has just like huge sleeves and hopefully like the bow neckline thing that I think is really cute. That's my goal for this one, and this would be good to try. This is like a fairly low stakes silk. I have a lot of silks in my stash that are exactly like this that I'm kind of afraid to cut into and sew with, so this will be a good like low stakes fabric, because the way I'll actually price out these fabrics is I will pre-wash them and then I'm gonna weigh them and I'm gonna multiply that weight by $2, and that's how I'll calculate the cost of these. One of the biggest reasons I go to the sale, I mean the deals are of course phenomenal, but I try to show like some demonstrable examples of affordable sewing on my channel, and this sale really helps me do that. And next up, this is a linen that is this really nice pink color. I've made quite a few pieces recently with a like pretty plain linen and then a bunch of really, really beautiful like lace and trim with it, and I think I'm gonna continue that with this guy. I have some trims in mind, but yeah, I think I'll just make like a really beautiful 1950s dress with a silhouette with then some really beautiful trim, and it'll be perfect. And I'm excited. I am debating. It's like I have trims in mind for this too. Yeah, I think overall I did phenomenally better at like picking things up. I basically, at the end when I did my sort, I shed not quite 50%, probably about 1/3 of what I actually picked up, and I didn't bring it home because I looked at it and I had no idea what I was gonna make out of it. And that's kind of my goal when I'm doing this sale, is I'm trying to really only buy things that I absolutely like look at and know what I want to make with it. Another example of something, this is a really beautiful, there's like rainbow threads through it. I'm not quite sure of the fabric content. I suspect it's kind of polyester-y, which isn't ideal, but I think this will be really cute. I like that it's a little bit sheer. My plan is to make like a really nice little 1950s dress that I can wear different color slips under to just kind of accentuate different parts of the rainbow. There is a good chance this ends up being my fabric for Pride next year. Next up is this guy. I probably need to actually take a photo of just one of these embroidery things, but these are embroideries of, you know those little lizards that you could make with beads? I think that's what these are. And I just thought this was so cute and so fun, and my vision for this is ideally a pair of like those pants that are so flowy you can't tell they're pants. They look like a skirt until somebody like kicks their leg or something and you're like, oh wow, those are pants. That is what I want to make this out of. I think it would be really, really cute. This is kind of like a linen-y feeling fabric. I highly doubt it is linen. I don't feel like linen usually comes embroidered like this and kind of this fun. So I'll have to burn it. I'm guessing it'll actually end up being a cotton. It's so cute nonetheless, and I can just envision these pants and they're perfect. Next up, I have another pretty rainbowy stripey thing. This is a nice, like, I guess I would call it a brocade. It is definitely a polyester brocade. I'll burn it to confirm that, but I would be shook if this was not a polyester. But I think it could make a really, really cute, really interesting corset. I have been looking at all of these kind of like more Victorian-esque corsets where you can get the paneling to kind of go in some different directions, and I think this would be a great thing to use for that. Which I will say, I have a lot of fabric for a lot of corsets and bustiers and things like that that I haven't made up, and I feel like I just need to get on a roll and make some bustiers. Adding to that pile of things that I need to make into bustiers, I found this really unhinged rabbit tapestry fabric. It's super soft, it feels pretty good for a tapestry fabric, and it just has all these really funny little rabbits on it, and I just thought this would make a really fun, likely kind of like a corset-y vest thing. So that's what I picked it up for. And then also I picked up some tapestry fabric that has cats on it. I'm hoping, this is stiff as a board, so I'm hoping some of that washes off. If it doesn't, a stiff bustier isn't a problem. This is absolutely like the right fabric to use for that, but I'm hoping I can get this to wash just a little bit and become a little bit softer. And we're down to our last couple fabrics. So I'm gonna just give a little spiel before I show you them. This one here is a gem. The other one's a fairly boring denim. So the way you find these sales, I think a lot of communities have these. There are always people looking to destash. So there's a couple different orgs you can look for in your area. In the Washington area, from what I can tell, this is a Washington only organization. We have the clothing and textile advisor groups, and there's like 5 or 6 across Washington. From what I can tell, each of them arrange their own sale. I'm debating, there's one in September on Bremerton that I'm debating going to. We'll see. September is kind of a hectic month for me, so I suspect I won't make it out there. But if you're in Washington, that is an org you can look to for organizing these events. The other org you can kind of look for events. They have chapters all over the nation. I don't know how many chapters they have, but I did a quick sweep of the map and it seems like most states have these, and it's the American Sewing Guild. I'm going to link both of these groups down below. So the American Sewing Guild, they're in charge of like kind of putting together some events and things like that, helping get people together who like enjoy sewing. What I will say, both these orgs skew quite old in age, so like just expect that going in. That's just going to happen in any sewing org. But what it can really help you do if you're someone my age is it can just help you meet other people your age who sew. Once you meet like one person in your area who is around your age who sews, who's been there a while, they know a lot of the other people in your area who sew. So you can kind of start networking and building through that. The way I got involved with my local sewing community here in Seattle, she has a channel. It hasn't been posting for a really long time, but her channel is Rose Does. She reached out to me. She was like, hey, I have this really great group of women who we organize retreats, meetups, things like that for the sewing community in Seattle. And that was kind of my doorway in. And then slowly over time, I've dragged more people that direction who I've met who are around my age. So the key is you just have to find like one. Once you find one, you'll be able to find your way into your local sewing community. And sometimes that American Sewing Guild page is a great start. Often they have Facebook groups in there too, where people talk about tips, sell things, whatever. Those are often also a good like doorway in. I personally really don't like using Facebook and I try to avoid it, but there is some perks to Facebook and the American Sewing Guild. I feel like that's mostly where they're found is on Facebook. So just look for your like local sewing orgs. The other thing you can look for is, I feel like Seattle Sews isn't unique. I feel like there has to be other groups that use a hashtag around that. That's the other thing is like look for like search like your city and sews or whatever, or your city sewing, and you can use kind of all these little tricks to find people online to then hopefully meet up with and start building community in your real life. Like I said, sometimes you just have to find that one right person, and that person can really open up doors for you. That is what Rose did for me, and it's what I try to do for other people who I know when they move to Seattle are looking for community. So yeah, you just have to find your connector, and that can be kind of challenging and it can take some patience. You won't get it probably your first meetup or event with these guilds and organizations, but you will eventually find that in. Because I see a lot of people in my comments saying how they just like don't have a in real life community. I do live in a city that is full of a lot of really fantastic cultural things, but I firmly believe that you can find your people and you can find your community anywhere, but you a lot of times have to put some effort and some work and some going to events and things that don't quite fit to do that. And again, I know I am in such a big city, but like people are out there, like people who sew and care about things, they're everywhere. I have comments from you coming in from all over the country and all over the world. So like I firmly believe you can find your sewing community and you can find people to do things with in real life. So that's, I guess, my little soapbox. All like the different orgs and things I talked about, I'll link down below. You can see in those resources, see if you can find local active chapters and hopefully find your way to people who just you vibe with. Speaking of which, I did meet a cosplayer actually at this sale. I'm gonna link her page down below. Her name's Jenny. She has some crazy cosplays. You'll meet some really fantastic people. And yeah, definitely go check out her Instagram. Phenomenal. She has this green ball gown that I'm like, I want that. And her scores from this sale, she found some really cool stuff. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll see some of that across her Instagram over the next few months. But with that, our last two, like I said, the other one's kind of a more boring denim, but this is a really fun, weird denim. It has all these like charms, lifesavers, Hershey's, little candies all over it, and I think it's so cute. My ideal world is I have enough of this to do some sort of overall, be it a short overall or a full-length overall. I might not have enough. This might just have to be a pair of shorts, but regardless, it's going to make such a cute little thing, and I'm going to feel ridiculous in it, which is the goal. If it doesn't make you feel ridiculous, are you even feeling? And the last thing that I picked up, I'm still not 100% sold on this. I picked up this denim to try to go with this beading that I got to make a denim jacket with. This is definitely the closest thing I've found so far in real life to what I'm looking for, but I am going to be in Minnesota in the next few months, and they have a pretty big fabric store there that I'm going to also try to find. This works. This blends really well with the beads. I'm trying to find a denim that is like a baby blue, almost periwinkle denim, which is a very, very, very tough ask. I understand that, but I have a vision. I have a vision of a denim jacket that is super campy and super ridiculous, and I'm just trying to match it. But if not, I'll use this. If I don't end up using this for that, I will absolutely make like a skirt or something with this. I absolutely love a denim skirt, so it will get used nonetheless. The blue denim I have in my stash right now is really, really vibrant, kind of screamy, so I think it'll be nice to have something a little bit more pared back. But that sums up this haul. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go out, go forth, find your sewing community, find your sales that can make things more affordable to sew, and I'm excited to show you a lot of these you'll hopefully see on camera. So definitely subscribe and stick around to see what these become. And then as always, you can comment down below, give it a thumbs up. Actually, if you could comment down below if you have a local org that is not the American Sewing Guild, if you know of something like the Clothing Textile Advisors that are local to your area in the country, I would love for you to comment it down below so people can look at them and maybe find something they didn't know in their area. But with that, I am going to sign off. I will see you next Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Bye!